Welcome everyone to Make It Make Sense with Monique Pressley. I am your host, Monique Pressley, and I am thrilled as always to be here. I'll confess, I'm a little extra thrilled today. Maybe just a little bit, slight favoritism when my sisters come in the room. Slight, unapologetic favoritism. But here at Make It Make Sense, we always promise you we're going to do what the title of the show says. We're going to take the complex things of life, in the flesh, in the spirit, and we're going to make them make sense. We're going to give you the who, the what, the where, the when, the why, the truth, supported with data. When there's commentary, it's going to be supported with truth and data. It's going to be from experts. We're not going to be like when you turn on the news and it's just like all this going back and forth and just static, making your head pop open. Not doing that. Here, we are giving you information and inspiration so that you can lead better, stronger, more thriving lives. Okay? And I told you guys way early this morning, because I did my own version of Monday Motivation a little earlier, and that I will post soon. I didn't want to post it before we had my next guest. I wanted everybody to be able to focus on this. And so then after she does her thing and after she gives us whatever it is the Lord has told her to give us for the day, then I will post it. I see some of you who were on here with me early at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock this morning, and it is coming because you are one idea away. But we're not going to talk about that right now, but just know you're one idea away. Okay? Our guest for Monday Motivation today is Dr. Mia K. Wright. And I don't usually go on with these, with long introductions, but there are a few things that I have to say about Dr. Wright. She is the co-pastor and executive director of ministry at the Fountain of Praise alongside her husband, the Pastor Remus E. Wright. Y'all know them. Y'all know them. This super couple leads a congregation of more than 20,000 members in Houston, Texas, down the street from my hometown of Galveston, Texas. These are Texas peeps, making theirs one of the largest churches in the United States of America. She leads the volunteers ministry for the Fountain of Praise. But in addition to that, because you guys know, when I need to bring somebody on, no, even in spirit, we get the experts, right? I try to bring you the best. So, she is not some fly-by-night preacher turned first lady turned something. No. This is Dr. Wright. In addition to her church leadership and professional speaking platforms, her passion is fulfilled as executive director of Metamorphosis, a women's empowerment organization. Metamorphosis encompasses the life-changing Metamorphosis Women's Conference. Everybody's heard of it. If you haven't, you're missing it. Based in Houston, a mentoring program for young ladies, a compassion outreach, empowerment seminars, international programs. Through her work, thousands of lives have been transformed. She's a community influencer. She's a woman to watch in Houston. She is a highly educated woman. She has one more degree just since the last time I saw her, which was in 2020 when I was in Houston working for the elections, and the Wright Church Fountain of Praise opened up their homes and their hearts to us for Black Voters Matter Fund. They let us park the big old bus in the parking lot. They let us erect a stage and a sound system and a DJ and hold a spectacular event. But I'm going on and on now, for real. Dr. Wright earned her bachelor's degree at the University of Texas at Austin in biology and chemistry. Following college, she was successful as a sales professional, a training specialist, you name it, Merck Pharmaceuticals, AstraZeneca. Mia also graduated, see, I can't say Mia, it's Dr. Wright. Graduated with honors with a Master's of Divinity from Southwestern Baptist Theological Seminary, during which she participated in the study abroad program. This says she is currently pursuing, but I know she has obtained a doctorate in organizational change and leadership at the University of Southern California. She's a link. She's an AKA. She's a mother. She's got 3 sons doing great things and fulfilling their lives as minister, attorney, and medical doctor. She's a phenomenal woman. And she's with us today. Aren't you motivated just by the introduction? I am motivated and a little tired, frankly. Let's welcome Dr. Mia Wright.
Hi, Monique. Hi, sister.
Hi.
What a
Doctor.
Blessing. Girl. Hey. Yes, that is the latest news, of which I'm excited and truly grateful to God, because this has been some work. I went to see my dermatologist this morning. She said, I haven't seen you in since January. And I was like, oh yeah, this stuff got real for a minute. Like I'm back reclaiming my life, like Aunt Maxine. I'm reclaiming my life.
And the thing is, I even from afar am a witness to your hard work and your journey, because I don't know if you remember when we were doing the bus tour. Mm-hmm. You were like, I'm supportive and I'm with you guys, but I'm going to be having to go to class and coming from class, and I got to pay. And so I didn't know if I was going to get to see you or not. You took the time, you came out, you loved on everybody, and then you were like, deuces.
Gotta go.
Sister gotta go. And I've been, even before I started this show, I know I wrote you and I was like, please, I want to talk to you and just give everybody some motivation, which you've always said, you've had nothing but a yes for us, which we as women just appreciate and so just admire everything that you have accomplished. Yes, but the spirit in which you have accomplished it, because you're not off doing things for yourself. You pull the whole time. Mm-hmm. You're pulling people with you. And so grateful for you being here with us today. And I had two questions in mind.
Okay.
Because I have been bringing on experts talking about this pandemic that we are still in, mm-hmm. this COVID that we still need to be taking precautions about. I've had people on here talking about voting and voter suppression, and you all have been active supporters of voting and strong voting advocacy and registering people to vote. I've had people on here talking about the financial situation that Black folks are in. We had John Hope Bryant here talking about that. All friends. It's been friends and family. It's been the friends and family tour for sure. But it made me think. I had Bishop William Murphy here on a Monday for motivation. And I asked him a similar question. And so I've got two questions for you, and they are about you, but I know they will help everyone. First, during all of this uncertainty, what keeps you anchored? And then second, during all of this uncertainty, what keeps you light?
Keeps me light?
Light.
Okay. Well, let me start first of all by thank you, Monique, for inviting me to be in your Motivational Monday event, and I really was honored by that. We have a mutual admiration for the level of work and the passion by which you serve. So thank you, because what you do is truly inspiring. And I think not just our young girls, but sisters, even those who are older, need to see these godly examples of women who are grounded in their faith, who are trusting and believing God, who can do all things through Christ who gives them strength, who know that if I can just trust God, that God will open up the opportunity and give me the door by which to go through. And that's what I see in you. So I say thank you to you for doing what you do and how you serve. And even using this platform with social media to be able to share a motivation to help somebody, because we don't know who's going to pop in, right, at any time. And somebody just might need that one little push to say, wait a minute, these two sisters can do it. I can do it. And so I really am grateful for that. Now, to your question about this pandemic. So, okay, I know what keeps me light. What was the first question?
What keeps you anchored?
Anchored. Oh, well, if there's nothing else you said, I am a woman of God through that. And it is my faith that has kept me anchored through it all. You know, God has been so faithful. Nobody in my family, my close family, was sick with COVID, but I've had cousins that were hospitalized with COVID. We have not had any deaths that I'm aware of, like, you know, during this time from any particularly close family members. But as a pastor, I've had to serve those who have had deaths in their family members or our members' family members. And, you know, to see the devastation, to see the hurt and the pain, any kind of loss is hurtful anyway. but to be able to minister to people through this very important time. You know, our grieving process was disrupted through this because people couldn't hold funerals as they normally would. You know, you have like 4 or 5 people there, and how do you honor a person's life like
That's
that?
right.
And when we have our traditions that we normally do. So being able to, you know, go back to God through that for myself and say, God, how do we help people to have their faith through this process of grief? How do we help people to overcome, or to know that it will be well? You know, it can be well with their soul. You know, they don't like the circumstance, but their soul can be at peace with it. You know, that's what grounded me through all of it, by trusting and believing God, knowing that, you know, this too shall pass, that we aren't going to always be in this situation. And while it seems like it's been a long time, some of us are over COVID. But like you said, Monique,
it's not over us.
It's not over us. It's still here. It's constantly mutating. It's constantly changing, and then still constantly affecting people. And so we can't let down our guard, right? And so while we can say, okay, well, maybe not as bad right now in my area, I may not have to wear a mask for certain things, but when you're in a crowd of people, there are still things you have learned over the past 2 years that you should know now. How do I change my behavior so that I am adapted for survival? You know, because we have survived through this, right? Because people are literally dying from this. So how do we survive? So I think it's just the mindset. It's understanding that Christ is with us through all things. And even if you do get sick, you know, if you do lose a loved one, whatever it is, God is still with you. And that anchor that he gives you is for peace. It's for the ability to overcome. It's the ability to press through no matter what has happened or what happens, that God will give you that. And he asks us just to ask him for it, simply ask him for it. And that's how we're able to fight our way through it. I think what keeps me light about it is I'm a geek at heart. so this circumstance was like kind of like, oh, really? We're going to all tech? Oh, we're going to be on Zoom, because I was already familiar with the platform, and you know, we're going to do Facebook Live. So it has allowed me to find ways by which to connect to people intentionally. That keeps me light, this intentional connection of saying that I need to reach out to somebody. So it may be a phone call, or it may be, you know, just calling somebody or reaching them on social media, what have you, but utilizing the technology that God has allowed us to learn and embrace and be a part of and participate with. Yeah, I think the heart's going through now. So, I mean, using what we have, right? I mean, like, if nothing else, use what you got. And so this is what we got right now. And it doesn't take the place of that physical touch that we have. Yet, I still sense your presence right here. I can't hug you physically, but I can hug you virtually. I sense your presence. I sense being in your space. And that keeps me light, by knowing that I can still connect to others. Even though we're apart, we can still be together.
Yeah. Well, and what you are to me, and I, thankfully through the show, but even just as you said, during the pandemic, I started coming on and doing my lives more frequently, and just taking whatever, a topic in law or a topic in the news, and trying to do what I'm doing now. Because you know, God keeps you right. Like, okay, God will be like, I told you this 15,000 years ago, and ready, set, go. But I was coming on and explaining things, and the questions I got the most were like, how do you keep moving forward when so much is frozen? And I watched you, and I watched a few others, and I had a person come on who's a wealth management coach, Deborah Owens, and she always talks about opportunities in volatility, and how, you know, just because things aren't going the way you planned doesn't mean they can't go better than you planned.
Right.
If you are open and flexible. What was in you that could be pursuing a doctorate in the middle of a pandemic, and all of your other stuff that is the stuff of womanhood, where
Mm-hmm.
you are still momming and still wifing and still working and still ministrying and all of those things. How does that train keep
Has to keep going.
going out the station?
You know what? I said I'm envious of all my friends that got to Netflix and chill, because I know what that was like. I haven't watched Netflix in forever. And part of it has been just really being intentional about the things that I wanted to accomplish. And I already was in school at that time. But so being able to shift when the pandemic happened and we had less things in person, more things online, really just allowed my reach to go further. So just like you know, I was able to get beyond four walls in a building to go into a global audience. I have been in South Africa. I have been in Europe. I have been in Holland. I've been in all these different places, being able to share messages and to encourage and inspire other people, because people had to shift who normally would not have shifted. They would have been like, catch a plane, come over here. We're going to talk to our 250 people. And now you have a bigger audience that is broader and more global. And so being able to shift in the midst of the pandemic is really, it's a mindset, you know?
Yeah.
Monique, I think, and I talk to people about this a lot of times, because sometimes we limit ourselves by what we know. And we don't say, you know, how can I really dig in deeper to learn more? I know people that went to quote unquote YouTube university. I call it. So people were like digging in, learning more. How can I learn these different platforms so that I can level up my expression and my experience to share with others? You know, so I just love somebody say, let me, she wrote, thank you. I missed who that was. But, you know, just the truth is that we can't get stuck. No matter what life throws us. It could be a divorce. It could be an illness. It could be loss of a job. It could be birth of a child. So many things can happen in our lives that cause us to have to adapt. And, you know, we all are given the same 24 hours a day, right? So if you have a baby, you still got 24 hours in that day. You're not having extra hours to care for the baby and do all the other things that you used to do. You have to adapt. And so there's some things that you need to recognize that no longer serve that current purpose that you're in. And when it no longer serves it, you gotta let it go. And let it go. I mean, it's just that simple, right? But it's not that easy. But honestly, when you learn to let some things go, then you learn to make space for things that are coming in new and expand yourself to be able to do what you have not been able to do before. And so that's one of the lessons that COVID really did teach me, was that we have to get beyond the box of what our present reality is to do more. If we want to do more, if we want to gain more, if we want to access more, we have to break down what those barriers have been so that we can. And, you know, nobody has the excuse of saying, I don't know how, because the internet has given us access to learn how. You can learn anything. By, and if you don't know, ask somebody. Ask somebody. If somebody is doing that which you like, that you think that's what you like, connect with them. Social media gives us a wonderful chance to be able to connect with other people that we previously had not had access to. So the bottom line is that we can do more from home, you know, from our home, but create the space in which you can do more. So don't try to do everything in, you know, in your bedroom from your bed. You know, create the space where you can do more. Grab a corner, move some stuff out of the way, be intentional so that it is purposeful for what you hope to do.
Amen. Well, and you said a whole word when you know, being stuck is our choice.
Yeah, it really is.
It is completely up to us, because even if our feet are stuck in the mud, our spirit can move. And I truly believe, like, I'm coming out head first. Bishop Jakes preaches that all the time, and I can't lose the visual. I'm like, head first. If I can get my mind out of here, then the rest of me is going to come along. And I know your time is valuable, but I saw something that you were doing that I think is so critically important, that I wish more people would catch a hold of. And I don't even know what the name of the program was, but the gist of it that you're involved in really is people who are from different ideological points of view, but are all Christian, but all love Jesus. And it was just like a big bright line reminder to me. Oh yeah, we serve the same God. So what are we doing? Can you just tell us a little bit about that program and what the goal is?
So I heard this joke years ago, if I can just share that first. This joke said, this person, it was a bishop that was telling my husband and I this. He says that all of the Baptists were together in heaven, and they were like, it was St. Peter and a good old apostolic walking through, and they said, shh, because the Baptists don't know we're here, right? And so the Baptists are in the room playing cards. And then they go by and it's like, oh, look, this is the room for the Methodists. Methodists in there and goes, shh, they don't know we're here. So the Methodists are in there having their events. And then the Catholics were in another room and they were playing bingo. And it's like, oh, and then they went by and the Kojics were having church. They were dancing and shouting. And they go, oh, and the apostolics were over there tearing and speaking in tongues. And he said, shh, nobody knows that anybody else is here. You know, and so the thought is that everybody thinks they have their own pathway to heaven.
And the only path.
And their path is the only way. But I have to believe that my God is bigger than our religious definitions, you know, than what we say our religiosity is. I have to believe that God has to be so much bigger than that, because he could not have existed for as long as he has existed with a small frame. And he could not have continued to impact so many people, and even Jesus Christ himself, for greater than 2,000 years, where the Bible continues to be a best-selling book all around the world in every different language, because people are experiencing the grace and the love of God through him. So my thought is this, is that why not be able to bring people together and to talk to people? So I'm not sure exactly which event you were speaking about, but I have done things with the Holocaust Museum, and I'm part of the board of the Houston Holocaust Museum. And we talked about stopping hate and looking for our commonality through humanity. And the presentation that I did was with a Buddhist, with a rabbi, and I think I'm missing one other person, but it was with people from different faiths, different backgrounds, to be able to bring together an interfaith dialogue so that we can actually talk about what do we have in common? Because the thing that happens when we begin to see people as different is the othering. It's when we begin to see people as different from ourselves. And because we aren't like them, then they must be wrong. And because we don't practice what they practice, then they must be wrong. There must be something wrong with them. And we even get down to our faith practices and our rituals as being so different that there must be something wrong. Well, our humanity is what brings us together. Our faith in one who is greater than all of us is what brings us together. And so I really do have a passion at this point in my life to be able to say to people that, you know, you may not practice what I practice, but we both believe that there is a God, right? And so some of my closest friends they're Muslim in their faith, they're Islamic, but we believe in God. And so we don't spend our time talking about what we don't believe, you know, how we believe differently. We spend our time talking about faith. I was blessed to be on a retreat, and one of the women from the retreat has become one of my closest friends. She's from Palestine, and her faith practices, her discipline, I learned a lot. All I want to say is I learned a lot from her practice, her belief in God, her ability to pray, to pause, whatever it was doing, to give thanks to God, to Allah for her. But to me, it's God, you know, so, and both of the words mean God. So,
that's,
you know,
right.
Why can't we find what is common with us? Why can't we find our like-mindedness around our faith and be able to help each other just live a better, peaceful, more humane life with each other? And so that's really kind of where I am in life right now. I preach Jesus, and people know that's who I am. So, you know, don't tell me comment, then say, don't say Jesus. I'm like, oh, it's in me. I'm trying not to say it, but it's in me. You know, so you know, but really, thank you for bringing that up, because I really think the world can learn a lot from being common with one another.
Yeah. Well, I think that the world, and us women folk especially, could learn a lot from you, Dr. Mia, because we'll catch you one day and you'll be in the church parking lot greeting people, and we'll catch you the other day and you'll be on the island dancing, and we'll catch you the other day and you'll be saying, finish my doctorate. No, you may be able to do it all at the same time, but you don't have to give up an entire section of your hopes and dreams and
Right.
forsake who God put you here to be for a thing. We really just kind of have to pace and trace ourselves.
Right. And it's never too late, right? So it's never too
Yeah.
late to start a program. It's never too late to go back to school. It's never too late to pick up where you're stopped off. It's never too late to start your business. You know, just stop looking at what is too late. You know, I say I have some family who lived well into their 90s and close to 100. And I'm like, guess what? I am in my middle age now. So I still have another 40, 50 years to go. So I'm going forward with that. And, you know, hey, I just want to continue to do all God has in store for me. So that's it. Just keep pressing, you know, don't stop dreaming. Don't stop living. Don't say I'm too old for that. No, you aren't.
You're not.
You really aren't.
Yeah. Well, and
Yeah.
you're a witness for us, and we just all want to do the best we can in service. And I think as you serve, it gives you energy for so much other stuff. And that's definitely what we see through you. Well, guys, I want you to follow all things Dr. Monique Wright, and tell us what's happening. I know you've got a book that they can get. Is there a conference coming soon? What's going on at the church? What can we get into?
Yay! So my book is Unthinkable. It's available on Amazon. It's just type in Unthinkable by Mia K. Wright and it'll come up, so you can get that. And the goal with Unthinkable is to help people to think through the things that you have thought about, right? So what limits your thoughts? What keeps you from moving forward? What makes you say that I can't do it, or I can't go there, or I shouldn't? What makes you say those things, so that you can rethink that and repurpose it under the mind of Christ, which he says, I can do all things through him who gives me strength. So repurpose your thinking. And then at the church, we're at the Fountain of Praise. So every Sunday we just started our second service back. It's like, oh Lord Jesus, is kind of hard getting adjusted to again, but you know, we're making through. So we have 8 a.m. Central and 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. We have about an hour and 15-minute service. So we invite anybody who's looking for a place to fellowship and worship to join us. We're live every Sunday at tfop.org. So you can find us on all the social media sites as well. And then Metamorphosis Conference, we will be, we're actually planning for 2023 already. So we're kicking in for our plans. But what we do with Metamorphosis, there are different aspects of our organization. So we already are starting our girls leadership program back, which is, I'm saying girls, but it's for young women. So ages 17 to 21. So we'll be picking up our mentorship program again with them. So during the pandemic, we did it only online, but we'll be doing some more stuff in person with the girls as we're moving forward through this pandemic at this point. And so it's a lot happening in life. My actual hooding ceremony and graduation is next week at USC. So I'll be in LA. So anybody out there, just shout it out. That's it. You know, that's it for right now. Just like I said, I'm like Maxine Waters, reclaiming my time. So I'm looking back at my calendar going, what do I need to pick up again now? So, you know,
well, and I've never been to Metamorphosis in person, so I don't care what I have to do in 2023. I need my name on a chair.
Yes, ma'am. I got you. And in fact, I'm going to make sure you're on my special guest list.
Amen. I look forward to it. And I'm thankful. I'm going to give a shout out because the only reason I knew to feel comfortable to reach out to you when we were doing the Black Voters Matter Fund, we're so thankful for all the help that you gave, was our favorite chef in common, Chef Mark. And Mark, he's in and out of here sometimes, but Chef Mark Hawkins, guys, look him up. He's on these Instagram streets, and the food looks delicious, but it's nothing compared to the way it tastes. So I'm thankful for the connection.
Yes, Mark is amazing. He just did my birthday party. He does all my holidays. Somebody asked me if I was cooking. I said, no, honey, I've graduated. I have a chef now.
and you have my favorite DJ, because he texted and he's like, are you in town? Are you celebrating Dr. Mia? And I'm like, no, I'm on the East Coast, but y'all have enough fun and enough good food for
See, that's what happens when you have like-minded people. You know, you got sisters who can think alike. We have so much in common. So, Monique, I just thank God for you. And I really do admire and respect all the work that you're doing. I pray God's blessings on you, even as you move forward into the next phase of what he has for you. Great things are there.
Amen. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. And please give the Dr. Pastor our very best.
Yes, I sure will.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
I hope you all enjoyed. Dr. Mia is just one of my favorite women of God. I am always encouraged by her preaching, by her teaching, by her seminars, but for real, by her walk with the Lord, by her witness, because you can tell when someone is sincere and have truly just discipled so many others who have come along and done great things. We have all been a benefit of her, and I hope you enjoyed what she shared with us today. She truly is. She's a Renaissance woman. It's not just men, it's woman too. And this will be posted on my YouTube channel. If you are not subscribed to my YouTube channel, it's Monique Pressley TV. Please subscribe. And if you enjoy our content, then please support it. The Cash App is $ Monique Pressley TV. That's $ MoniquePressley TV. Same as the YouTube channel, Monique Pressley TV. You can go to the link tree in my bio for other ways that you can support the work that we're doing. And other than that, I will see you tomorrow. Have you guys been hearing all this talk about student loan forgiveness? Can the president do it? Can't he do it? If he does it, will it be immediately overturned in a higher court, or won't it? Is there room through executive order to get this accomplished? Is this a promise that he made during the campaign that he owes us black folks, brown folks, white folks, blue folks? Or are the progressives being progressives again and going at it? Well, they say that we're going to get some sort of order, maybe this week, around the $10,000 mark or something like that. But of course, that's not going to do it if we do. And I'm going to try to make it all make sense. So I'm handling the lawyering side to the extent that I can. I believe that there is a true legal question that the courts are going to have to figure out. That's what I think. That's what some experts far beyond me think. But there is a true argument that no matter what gets figured out down the road, we still need this to be a deliverable from our president. And my guest tomorrow is going to want to talk about that faux show. I have the lovely queen, my baby sis, Tiffany D. Lofton. If you're not following her, do it right now. Tiffany D. Lofton will be here with me tomorrow, and we're going to talk about promises. Promises that the president and the vice president can keep. Is this one of them? Or do we need Congress for this? Let's chew it up. I'll see you tomorrow, noon Eastern, back at our regular time on Make It Make Sense. Bye-bye.